Do you know how people consider artists to be very creative people? Well, as an artist, I can tell you that yes, we are kind of creative, but do you know exactly how? I'll show you how. Okay, so I drew this king that is also a frog, and I drew it by focusing a lot on the creative process so that I can analyze it and I discover some interesting things. I began the drawing with a goal in mind. I want to draw a frog that is a king. That is my goal. I started doing my sketch. I used some references. If you have never drawn anything, sketch is a well-known technique. Basically, you break up a very complex thing into circles and lines that are way easier to draw. To make the sketch, I googled frogs on Google. I googled frogs sitting on a chair on Google. I even googled Frog King. You can even tell that I took inspiration from this frog. So at this point, I started noticing that hey, I am following a method, I'm using well known techniques, I'm using references. It is as if I was actually trying to not be creative. And that is actually true. I am not trying to be creative. I have a goal already. I want to draw a frog that is a king. If there is a method to draw a king that is a frog, I will use that method. But then I came up with a challenge. When I tried to draw the crown of the frog, I realized that the frog's head is pretty small. I could either draw a tiny crown or a very tall crown that expands to make it bigger. I knew I really wanted to make a white crown. And right here is where I actually became creative. I made an extension for the crown. You can see the base of the crown is smaller, then there is extension and the crown gets wider. I started thinking a lot on why is this part of the drawing is the most creative part of the drawing. I came to the conclusion that you become creative only when you have to, when you are forced to. All throughout the drawing, I didn't struggle that much. I had a method that was working. It was until the method stopped working where I had to become creative. Now, after the crown, the rest of the drawing wasn't too hard. I just made the outline and made the shading, which are also well-known techniques, so it was fairly easy. Okay, so I am only being creative when I am forced to. That is not different from any other job or type of person. What is this thing that makes an artist more creative than the rest? Well, when I struggle figuring out what to do with the crown, I almost got actually a little bit excited. I didn't got nervous, I didn't got mad. That was almost the most fun part of the drawing. Knowing this, if you ask me what is the thing that makes an artist more creative than someone else, is that when it comes the time to actually be creative, an artist almost enjoys it. Is almost looking for it even. If you are not an artist, when you have to get creative, you probably get nervous or you try to avoid it. If you are, let's say, a waiter at a restaurant, you could say that the method that you are following is taking the order, going for the food, and giving back the food to the customer. It is until the customer asks for something different outside of the menu where you have to become creative. Now, I'm just going to assume here that if you are a waiter, you would hope to just follow the method. You don't really hope for the customer to ask you for something outside of the menu. So you are not hoping to get creative at your job. An artist do expect to get creative at the job. Another interesting thing that I figured out after all this is that the only reason you still have a job is because you have the ability to be creative, even if you don't like it. Think about it. If your job can be turned into a system, it has already been taken by a computer or a machine or is about to. I won't tell you that you have to become an artist so that you can get more creative and enjoy the process of being creative, I just want to make you aware that the only reason you have a job is because you can be creative. And that is it. That is the creative process of an artist. If you like these videos where we talk about art, subscribe. If you know about more differentiators between an artist and a non-artist person, leave a comment. And if you want to support this channel and me as an artist, visit my website diegoelz.com. My name is Diego Lizondo, and I thank you for listening.